The sports you love, the teams you can't live without.
Get a sense of urgency!
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Want to remind you to join Hans and Scotty coming up today at RGS Exteriors from noon to 3, 4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. Go say hi to those guys out there. Find out what RGS can do for you. Odds are your gutters are leaking, I would bet.
Yeah.
If you're Christian, you don't
have them.
You don't have gutters at all.
I got some.
Oh, you got them. You got them
some.
put in just in time for spring. That was probably pretty.
Yeah. It was a big weight off my shoulders.
Well, thank goodness. I'm happy. Ben, Shaq made a big boo boo.
Okay.
We can talk some NBA basketball here, but anytime you can make fun of Shaq. I know you're a fan of his analysis.
Yeah.
On TNT.
Yeah, mumbling and inaccurate. My favorite.
Here is Shaq talking about the Detroit Pistons. Okay.
Interested. You said something very interesting about Cade Cunningham. Great player now at this stage. He plays at his own pace. Anybody that can consistently play at their own pace and put up numbers, it's a great player. I like the way he's playing. I like what Chauncey is doing. Those guys play hard. My favorite player on that team is Isaiah Stewart. Big body, hard guy. Like to knock people out, push people
No, I can't
around.
let this go. Like who? Who's doing it? You said Chauncey?
Chauncey's the coach, right?
Okay.
Portland. No. He coaches
I was like, I can't let this go.
JB Bickerstaff.
Bickerstaff, that's what I mean. Hey, you know, first of all, I don't watch Detroit. How about that, boo-boo? I don't watch them.
couldn't let that go.
I messed up.
I like Chauncey's doing.
I made a mistake.
You put a trailblazer.
Okay. Way to go, Candace Parker.
Yes, good for Candace, who is great in that
She
role.
is
She
great.
is a really good analyst, and she is not afraid to stand up to them when they make mistakes.
I legit like her as an analyst. She is really good. Shaq, by the way, put down the shovel. Like, don't.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Be like,
There's a really easy example. Oh, right. Of course, Chauncey played
in Detroit.
I
got it mixed
know
up.
JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
I mean, I do that all the time.
Of course.
Legit all the time. I don't know why I always wanted to call Russell Westbrook Michael Westbrook, the receiver from like 100 years ago.
But it happens.
But it happens. It was always a thing. Shaq going like, I don't watch Detroit. How about that? It's like, no, dude, you just admitted you really didn't know.
Correct.
Like you just admitted you not only did not know who the head coach of the Pistons is, but also who the head coach of the Blazers is.
In JB Bickerstaff. Yeah,
well,
here's
because
the really
Chauncey
easy fix.
is the coach of the Blazers.
And has been for a long time.
A while, yeah.
The easy fix is, what did I say?
Oh, did I say Chauncey? Of course,
JB.
he's not their point guard
He's doing
anymore.
a great job.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, but Shaq is not smart.
No, and he's a bad analyst. And I think he's truly been bad for the NBA. I mean that. I think he's been bad for the NBA. The NBA has its problems. It has real on-court issues. I'm not pretending it's not. What Shaq is doing is not talking about when Shaq complains about the NBA, he's not talking about the actual on-court issues or how to fix them. He's doing the back in my day thing that I don't think is productive or particularly interesting.
And always has.
And he doesn't. And he admits he doesn't watch the games. So what are you talking about? What are you analyzing? And I've never been a fan of Shaq. I hate him on that show. I've always thought he was a bad.
Oh, he was a bad interview when he was a player.
And a bad name to throw on there. And just I get it.
Well,
he's a big deal. He draws attention, but he's not a good analyst.
No, he's legit terrible. It's a funny thing, these national analyst roles in all of sports really, but in this case in basketball. There's this weird balance of like star power, career, and actually a good broadcaster. Because it is a separate skill, and some former athletes are really good.
The truth is they have nothing to do with one another.
They don't at all have anything like
the little bit of overlap is that you have knowledge of the sport, but every person knows something about a sport. Everyone does.
I've told you this for a long time. Charles Barkley is a way better broadcaster than he was a basketball player, and he was a great basketball player.
Yeah.
He was by no means the best basketball player of his day. Shaq got that job out of pure celebrity and then has been riding coattails ever since.
Yep.
And so I find Shaq obnoxious. I thought what he did to Donovan years ago was extremely obnoxious. You're right. He does do the back in my day thing. constantly,
Yep.
which is super obnoxious. And listen, I'm not the type of guy who holds national media to be like, well, you need to watch
You don't know
every
everything about the
single
Jazz?
game, you know,
Are you crazy?
every single game all the time. At this point in the season, Shaq, you need to have watched the Pistons. They are relevant.
They're a story.
They are one of the bigger stories in the NBA,
Yeah.
I would argue, including JB Bickerstaff being a big story because he stepped in there and they're really going the right direction. And he had an interesting exit from Cleveland.
Right.
Like, these are all very relevant.
Yeah, they're topical.
They're very relevant things.
Yeah.
And then him doing that after saying, well, Cade Cunningham just plays at his own pace and is doing this and that. You've never even watched the guy play. You just
Right.
admitted that in the next segment or the
Yeah.
next sentence.
Yep. Yeah, it's annoying. It's stupid.
He's terrible.
He is bad, and I hope he gets washed out.
He won't
with the
because he's
ESPN
too big of a
changeover.
celebrity.
He is, and whatever. But keep Barkley around. That's fine. Kenny's fine. But we don't need Shaq anymore.
I mean, say what you will about Screamin' A. I do think Screamin' A. Smith is smart.
I agree with you.
And I think Shaq not Shaq, excuse me. I think LeBron going toe-to-toe with Screamin' A is not smart. Because I actually think Screamin' A wins that battle. And especially earns credibility points with his audience because I'm going to say what's the truth about Bronny, regardless of who's going to yell at me. I mean, he is coming out way on top of this thing.
Stephen A. is actually a very good debater. Like, he has the real skill. Now, he has this
gift for
screaming
rhetoric?
thing, but he has a gift for rhetoric.
He does.
He is actually very good at that.
He's
which is why
entertaining.
he's not afraid to go on the political shows. Not because he knows everything about politics, but he knows how to debate people.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to get a point across, regardless of what you say. So he's not afraid of that type of thing, where some people go on and look really stupid because they're out of their depth, and he's not. And to your point, yes, LeBron engaging in somebody in the media who's very good at that is not going to end well for LeBron. And another point you made is that, how long does LeBron have left?
Oh, he's got like 5 minutes left. Stephen A. signed his deal that day.
Yeah, for 5 years. And guess what? He's not going to retire after that either. So not only is he going to outlast LeBron, if you missed it, LeBron pulled Stephen A. aside at a game last week sometime.
Didn't even pull him aside, just got up in his face and screamed at him.
And it was about Bronny. It was about LeBron's kid. And he felt like Stephen A. crossed the line talking about LeBron's son. And yeah, not only is Stephen A. going to outlast LeBron, he's going to outlast Bronny.
By a mile.
And then he can take a victory lap on it. And LeBron's always going to be around. He's going to buy the team in Vegas or whatever he wants to do. And he will be an ambassador for the NBA. LeBron will be, unlike Michael Jordan, he will be a face for the league for the rest of his life.
Well, he needs the attention, yeah.
But he needs the attention. I think you are right about that. But Stephen A's got a huge microphone. He's got a big spotlight, and he knows how to use it. And that was great for Stephen A. Smith. You crazy? LeBron confronts you face to face, courtside. You couldn't do anything more for Stephen A. Smith at that point. That's the best thing that could happen.
And over something like nepotism, too. Like, nobody's going to side with LeBron.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. They may say, like, oh, that's a bad look for Stephen A. Is it? He's got an easy position to defend. And now everyone's paying attention to the fact that LeBron yelled at him about it, which puts the conversation in more spotlight, which is about Bronny. So every time Bronny plays bad, Stephen A. looks smarter.
And I love it. The clutch freezing Stephen A. out leaks to the press because, of course, it did. I'm sure Stephen A. did that himself.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, I don't think the clutch flex is what you think it is.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one. But I do think Stephen A. Smith is smart. I don't think Shaq, like what Stephen A. was doing with his Bronny take even, was just his job. Going to give a take on the relevant sports news of the day. And you know what? LeBron made Bronny sports news. Commented on it. You don't have to like it, but that is legitimate. Shaq going after Donovan Mitchell because he doesn't think he's good enough to, I don't even know what. That's crazy. What are you doing? There's a huge difference, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I think Shaq's a moron. I'm with you. Well, Chauncey's doing an incredible job. Good for Candace Parker.
Yeah.
Wait, I can't let that go. Chauncey?
Yep.
All right, coming up next, we've got What You Got Wednesday. I don't know. Did I get smoked last week? I haven't looked at the results.
Neither have I.
I think I did.
We'll get an update.
What do you got smoked? I will reveal the results on the other side.
All right, Stay tuned. More Jake and Ben straight ahead, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
So you think you know everything about college basketball, huh?
These people are not dumb. They're very smart.
Okay, smart guy. Time to put that knowledge to the test and go head-to-head with the Zone staff. It's another edition of KSL Sports Basketball Mayhem. When the brackets are announced this Sunday, log on to KSLSports.com and fill out your bracket. The listener with the top bracket will receive $1,000 of cold, hard cash. And if you finish with a better bracket than... let's see here. Who can we pick on? How about Jeremiah Jensen? You'll be entered into a drawing to win $500. It's KSL Sports Basketball Mayhem on KSLSports.com. Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Join JJ and Alex coming up Friday from 3 to 6 at Doug Smith Mitsubishi, 495 West Main Street in American Fork, just off the freeway. No one knows Mitsubishi like Doug. All right, time for What You Got Wednesday. If you're new to the show, it's where Ben and I go head-to-head on 2 5-selection drafts, and then we put it out for a vote. What happened last week, Christian?
Last week, worst GMs in NBA history was fairly close. Ben, you won 58-42, and then best picture winners, Jake, you won 82-18.
I'm disappointed I underperformed in the bad GMs. I felt like I left some on the table there.
Okay.
But I'm not surprised I crushed you in best pictures.
You had more enjoyable best pictures.
More mainstream, I would say.
Sure.
Although a lot of people think The Godfather 2 is better than The Godfather.
Sure.
All right, so that means what? I go first in the sports one, and Ben goes first in the not sports.
Correct.
All right. Where are we starting with sports?
Our sports draft today, let's do best Memphis Grizzlies of all time. That's the Jazz's opponent tonight.
Now, this is going to be challenging, as we were talking about, because there haven't been that many great Memphis Grizzlies. In fact, I would argue there haven't been any great Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, we can argue that when we've
Sure.
completed the task.
We'll see what the voters say.
I have the first pick. I actually don't want the first pick.
Okay, interesting.
Is there an obvious one?
I think there is.
Okay. I'm going to go with... All right. I'm going to go with, I guess, Ja Morant.
Okay.
That's not who you were thinking of, I'm guessing.
It's not, no. It's got to be Pau Gasol. Pau very much legitimized them as a basketball team when they had been a mess.
And we're talking about them as Grizzlies, not them players overall.
Yeah, even before he got traded, he was a max player, a multi-time All-Star. He had his best years, obviously. Well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't even have his best years with the Lakers. He had his most success with the Lakers, but he was the best player on a really good team.
Were they really good?
They made the playoffs.
Did they?
They were relevant, yeah.
Was he an All-NBA guy when he was with Memphis?
Let's see. Let me pull up Pau Gasol's early career. He made one All-Star team.
Yeah.
But they made 3 playoff runs with him. They did get swept every year.
All right. I mean, I am far from thinking that's the automatic one, but fair enough. I'll go with his brother Mark, who I actually think was better in Memphis than Pau was.
Yeah, was kind of a weird, not throw-in in that trade, but was certainly thought of as the bad younger brother who was out of shape and ends up winning several Defensive Player of the Year awards, at least one, multi-time All-Star.
He was an All-NBA guy there.
He was great. He's a great player. Yeah, Mark's probably a Hall of Famer, to be honest with you. All right, I will go with the guy who I think a lot of people actually, if you were in Memphis, would say is the greatest Grizzly of all time. And I'm going to go with a fan favorite here locally with Mike Conley. Mike was there for a long time. He saw them through some lean years. Also never made an all-star team there, kind of randomly, but was the heart and soul of that team for a long time.
All right. I'm going to go with, everybody just remembers the Grind City or whatever it was, Grindhouse version of the Grizzlies. I'm going to go with Zach Randolph.
Yeah, I think that's the right pick. That's why it's next on my board.
All right.
Zach had an up and down career through the Jailblazers, a failed run with the Knicks, right? And ends up in Memphis and rebuilds his career, and it was awesome. Has become an NBA fan favorite for a long time. All right, I'll go with Jaren Jackson Jr. right now. He's won Defensive Player of the Year, right? Multi-time All-Star. Is the best player on their roster right now. Triple J.
All right. I'm gonna just.
This is where it gets really thin. I feel like
I'm gonna stick with the same era and go with Shane Battier.
Okay.
Who everybody always loved. 5-tool player, could do it all.
Acquired from the Houston Rockets on draft night.
Duke guy.
Really like kind of one of the original 3-and-D players in the NBA as far as like filling out that role extremely well. Could defend everybody. Very good player. I will go with maybe the best defense. I mean, Marcus Gasol is the best defensive player they've ever had, but the next best is Tony Allen, who also was Grindhouse Grizzlies through and through. Not super healthy, but just an absolute menace on the defensive side of the ball. Tony Allen.
All right, I saved my favorite Grizzly for last. This will get me no votes, I'm sure. But I actually think he belongs on this list. Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
Yep, no question about it.
I think he made at least one All-Star team while playing for the Grizzlies.
He was one of the...
He was like the second pick in the draft.
He was just relevant for a long time, and he probably was a little bit underwhelming for his career. He didn't. He only ever played in Vancouver. He made his lone All-Star game his first year with Atlanta, which always stinks to lose a guy and then have him break out. But yeah, he was averaging over 20 points his second year in the NBA. Sharif was really good. I remember there was some talk about the Jazz chasing him pre-Boozer.
Always rooted for him, yep.
We got 9 out of my first 9. Base almost in order. And so I'll just go with my 10th that I had on my list, Desmond Bane.
Yeah, that's getting you... Well...
He's good. I mean, honestly, Desmond Bane is probably better than both Shane Battier and Tony Allen.
Yeah.
Jazz fans really like him.
But Jazz fans will always be the what if had they drafted him.
No Bryant Big Country Reeves?
He belongs in this conversation. He's probably like not that far outside of this group.
Nobody took Rudolph Gay?
Well, Rudy Gay in Utah might be the worst free agent signing in NBA history. Well, not in NBA history, but in Jazz history, he's one of the worst.
Mike Miller?
Mike Miller was very good, too. Rookie of the year, right? Yeah.
Jason Williams?
Okay. I watched him punt a ball into the upper deck at a Jazz game.
All right, let's do a little review.
Jake, you had the number 1 overall pick. You went Ja Morant, Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph, Shane Battier, and Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
That's a good team.
Ben, you went Pau Gasol, Mike Conley, Jaren Jackson Jr., Tony Allen, and Desmond Bane.
That's also a good starting 5. We could have just done starting 5s
also. This wasn't as
also.
bad as we thought.
We could have done starting 5s, which would have been fun. Maybe that's how we should approach it in the future. You got to get a point guard.
You drafted Desmond Bane on an all-time list. That's terrible.
Desmond Bane is one of their 10 best players.
I know
of all time.
he is, but we're saying that it was not deeper than we thought.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, he's been in the league for 4 years, 5 years, something like that. You're right.
I mean, you look down this thing. I mean, come on now.
Well, our original pitch for this was you said maybe we draft Jazz players and Grizzlies players. It would have been 9 Jazz players and 1 Grizzly.
I think it would have been more Grizzlies than that, but yeah.
It would have been heavily Jazz.
It would have been heavily Jazz.
Yeah.
All
like
right.
Adrian Dantley is better than any Grizzlies player ever.
Yeah, probably. yeah, probably. All right, what's our not sports today?
For non-sports today, let's do best music videos. This was a topic that came up on the show earlier this week.
I play my kids' music videos when they ride in my car, and I'm running out of ideas, and so
so you just need some refreshers here.
We need some ideas. Yeah. Is there an automatic number 1 pick?
Yes.
You think?
I think so. I don't think it's what you're going to pick, but it's my
It's
pick,
you.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is the greatest music video of all time. It's Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah, I don't disagree.
Everyone knows the dance move. Everyone knows the song, the steps, the little claw hands, the funny video in between, the disclaimer beforehand that he's like, I actually don't believe in the occult. I'm very religious. It's like all these funny things. So it was great. Yeah, Thriller.
I mean, we could do a lot of Michael Jackson videos, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go with Michael Jackson right off the top. I'm going to go with my favorite, November Rain.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a better combo of video and song. Like, I think one would be kind of lame without the other.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. I think Thriller would still be a jam.
Did you wear your Guns N' Roses shirt today because you were going to draft it?
I had no idea, but I did wear a Guns N' Roses shirt today. November Rain.
Okay. Didn't make my list, which is fine.
At
But
all?
It's one of the great ones. I think this pick, honestly, I think these first two picks are going to wrap it up for me. I'm not kidding. Aha, Take On Me.
Oh, everybody loves that music video.
It's a great song. It's a great music video. It still looks good. Like if I were, I'm sure my kids haven't seen it. If I were to show it to them now, they'd be like, "Oh wow, that like looks good." It's like, yeah, it looks great. It still holds up because so much of it's hand drawn. It just looks authentic. It looks real.
All right, for my next pick, Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit, which is also a great music video. And during that period, music videos were kind of counterculture, and they were very much counterculture. So,
Yes,
there you go.
memorable. The dark, whatever they're in the gymnasium, right? What a jam. What a band, that Nirvana. I'll go with a personal favorite of mine. And I'm going to go with Tonight by the Smashing Pumpkins, which is the
It's a good video.
Journey to the Moon, old-timey, looks very good. The guy who's in it, I figured this out. The main guy who's taking the aeroplane to the moon is the guy who does SpongeBob's voice.
That's kind of
What a weird career. I was just trying to make it, however.
lucrative.
Yeah. Now I'm SpongeBob.
Next for me, I love this music video. Tupac featuring Dr. Dre, California Love, the post-apocalyptic California.
Mad Max, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
But it matches the feel of the song.
Very
well.
much.
Yeah, they are intertwined. So I think you're right on that one. I think that's a good pick. I'm going to go with, it was revolutionary because it killed music videos, actually, unfortunately. And I'm going to go with Here It Goes by OK Go.
I love that music video.
And they're just dancing on the treadmills.
Yeah. And they do it all in one take.
It's amazing. But they did it for like probably $500, $2,000. And everyone was like, oh,
I don't need to do
we don't need to spend millions of dollars on music videos anymore. It killed music videos. In all honesty, like that there was a before and after because of that video, which stinks. But then everybody tried to copy it for a while. And I like big music videos. So I'm sad that they're gone, but this is what killed it. But it's a revolutionary music video.
All right. I'm going to go with really the music video that launched this band onto the scene, Sabotage, Beastie Boys.
Okay. They had fun music videos.
They did.
Yeah. I have a lot on my list. I just remembered one. Now I'm trying to make sure I have the right song. I don't think I'm going to have time. So I'm going to skip it. I'm going to go with... This is my last pick. I'm going to go with a very memorable music video that I hate, but it's from my era as a child, which is the Bye 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 music video by NSYNC, where they're the marionette puppets.
That's going to get you
I hated that
votes.
video. I hated that song, but it's super memorable, and it was a big-time music video.
Oh, man, there's so many good ones on the board.
There's
I
a
feel
lot.
like I could still go with. All right, I think I'm going to go with this because it launched an actress's career.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Janie's Got a Gun, Aerosmith, and Alicia Silverstone was in that, right? So there you go. Janie's Got a Gun, Aerosmith. But I feel like I left my favorite Michael Jackson video on the table.
Billie Jean?
No, I love Smooth Criminal
Okay.
by like a mile. Dire Straits, Money for Nothing.
Yeah.
With the like neon robot thing.
Adele, Hello, every single Beyonce music video, but specifically Single Ladies.
Britney Spears,
Toxic was a huge music video. I was going to do Blink-182, What's My Age Again, which is the one where they're running down the street naked, which is very famous.
Jim Rome's in that one.
Yeah. There's just a ton of great music videos. Did I say Madonna Vogue? It's like the music video.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to draft Madonna, though. All right, we should review.
All right, Ben, you had the number one pick. You went Thriller, Take On Me, Tonight, Here It Goes Again, and then Bye. On the graphic I'm posting, I do also have the artist, by the way. Jake, you went November Rain, Smells Like Teen Spirit, California Love, Sabotage, and Janie's Got a Gun.
A lot of guns in mine.
You love guns. The Bjork All Is Full of Love video, which is where she's the robot, is great. It's a great video. Anyways, no one's listening to that song either.
A lot of guns.
Bjork's not going to get me a lot of votes. Guns will get you some votes.
Absolutely. Everybody loves guns in their music videos. Either band name or actual guns. Although I don't know if there's an actual gun in Janie's Got a Gun.
Yeah, there might not be.
All right, there you go. We'll get those posted up on the Jake and Ben Twitter account, and you'll get a chance to vote.
We have some, it's not the right word to say, we have some fans who are, or some listeners to the show that I'm sure are quietly boy band fans that they hid and repressed in the 90s that they have since, bonded with them. But secretly they'd get in their little Honda Civic that was 4 inches off the ground and they'd put the CD out of their CD jewel case and throw it in there. And when they were alone, they were bopping to some NSYNC and some Backstreet Boys. And
Okay, I'll give you a little pushback on that, and not because I don't listen. I enjoy a good guilty listen, like I really do. I'm not ashamed.
Sure,
I'll rock ABBA rolling down the road, but I still maintain that my era of pop music. So when I was like a junior in high school or a sophomore in high school through like sophomore in college or whatever, when pop music was supposed to be my jam. That might have been the worst era of pop music ever. I mean, everything was so terrible.
You're talking about 90, what?
Like
4,
95? Yeah, like 95.
To the end of 2000?
Right. NSYNC was terrible. Justin Timberlake salvaged some good stuff out of there. Career? Yeah. But NSYNC was not good.
On NSYNC, okay.
Backstreet Boys was not good.
They're still around, aren't they? Doing the Orb down in Vegas, the Sphere.
Didn't they just re-get together?
They are. Yeah, they're on a. I mean, they've got a residency at the Orb, so they're in good shape.
Britney Spears was not the auto-tune Britney Spears not good, like really not terrific.
It was a weird reaction to the breakthrough of your second overall pick, the grunge rock of the early 90s, which everyone was so down that they were like, well, let's get super poppy to counterbalance what had been the early 90s music, which I think you're right. I don't know if that means it was bad, but it was a direct inverse of that.
Like, I could see somebody going back to Aha and being like, oh, I love this corny tune. You know what I mean? Like, this may have been super poppy at the time, but this is a great corny tune. Yeah. Like, Bye 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 is a terrible song.
I do not like that song.
So bad.
I don't like that song.
I don't know how many of our listeners are like, oh, yeah, bye, bye, bye. The only reason everyone knows the words is because that music video was so in your face all the time, you could not avoid it.
Yeah.
You could be watching like the Discovery Channel and all of a sudden that music video would pop up. You'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
All right. We'll wrap up the show coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is DJ and PK.
Joined once again by Ken Pomeroy, college basketball analytics guru and owner of KenPom.com. Do you get a lot of negativity on social media?
He gets it from conference commissioners. Isn't that right, Kenneth Pomeroy?
Ooh, who are we talking about, PK?
Greg Sankey?
Yeah, Greg Sankey was on my case because I hinted at the fact that the SEC might just be a touch overrated and in line for a little disappointment here in the NCAA tournament.
If it happens, do you go back? Yeah, take that.
No, I do. I am extremely sensitive about this kind of stuff. And Eric Musselman at USC was on my case. And I take great pride in the fact that since he made public comments disparaging my work, his team has won one game. In my own mind, I feel like if you come out against me, there's some sort of curse.
Catch DJ and PK mornings from 6 to 10 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Who's got it better than us?
Your home for the best sports coverage in Utah. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two amigos on the airwaves, talking sports. They got a matrix and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his scarves. Oh my. From the islands to the basketball.
Jacob and 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This segment brought to you by Peach Doors and Windows. Amazing home transformations begin with Peach, where 5-star reviews are the norm. Call them today for your free in-home estimate, 801-566-1255, Peach Doors and Windows. Right now, by the way, 13 minutes to go in the game. Iowa State leads Cincinnati 47-40. But are you telling me we're going to have to sit here and watch this stupid court all tournament long?
Yeah, they've had this horrible, it looks like the Brooklyn Nets court
Which
from
I
the
hate
mid-2000s.
so much.
Yeah, where they go gray. Gray doesn't work as a court.
It ruins the depth. Like these wacky courts. Like I don't like the play-in tournament courts.
I'm with you.
It makes it harder to watch on TV, which after all, isn't that the point?
Yes.
Like Boise State should be required to change their field.
I'm a fan of the traditional hardwood court, and you can have different colors and whatever you want as far as the paint goes and the out of bounds. But yeah, give me the hardwood. It's what you play on. It looks great. It looks classy. It reads really well in basketball.
It's when other leagues have messed with the ball, and the ball is like different colors and stuff like that. It looks weird. It throws it off. The basketball is supposed to be, brown within an orangish hue.
Correct.
There's like a certain
there's a spectrum.
Right.
That we will allow.
That's the ball.
Yeah.
And the court, hardwood.
I'm with
Football, green grass.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's what we expect. Don't make your product harder to watch.
I'm with you. I thought you were going to say, do we really have to watch this Iowa State team play, which is how I feel. I hate watching this Iowa State team. They played great in the second half against BYU. They had a ton of good whistles go their way. BYU really had a hard whistle in the second half of that game and still found a way to win in overtime. But Iowa State is brutal to watch. And they have been today. That's why Cincinnati's hanging around in this game.
Real quick before we get step aside for Hanson Scotty. The reasons that I hate the court are the same reasons that I hate like fashion magazines and fashion in general.
Okay.
No, they didn't pay for that court because of anything else than some Poindexter who says he knows what's cool is like, hey, this is a really cool court. Like there's no way your Mark looked at it and went, wow, that's awesome. No, he says, this guy who's cooler than me says that's awesome, so we're going to do it.
Yeah, someone with more money said this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
And so they did it because someone with more money said, I want to do this.
Yeah, somebody with more clout or whatever said skinny jeans were cool.
Yeah.
And so now everybody is uncomfortable for a decade. Makes no sense. Those somebodies that know better need to just disappear.
What's the phrase? Trends are a reflection of the preference of the rich, or something like that. It's like, yeah, somebody with a lot of money said this was good, and so everyone said, well, they've got a lot of money. They must know.
All right, stay tuned. Hanson Scotty, you're next. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Christian.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.